The Miami Heat stormed into Boston, and now they're the second ever 8th seed to advance to the NBA Finals, the first since the 1999 New York Knicks. When the game's opening play, Boston just didn't have much of a chance because Jason Tatum rolled his ankle making a drive to the basket, and he looked gimpy. He was a shell of himself, just didn't have a lot of burst and agility that he relies on. They had to rely on Jaylen Brown, who was unfortunately very poor from deep, 1 for 9, finished the series just 16% overall. We'll talk about his shortcomings later, but for Boston, I'm sorry, you're not going to get the sympathy card from me because the Miami Heat came into this series without Tyler Hero, who is a 20-point per game contributor for this Miami Heat team. Plus, they were missing Gabe Vincent in Game 5, so yeah, it's unfortunate, but the injuries are part of the game. Miami set the tone in that first quarter where they were making a lot of jump shots. They got out to a big lead and never really looked back, mainly thanks to Caleb Martin. He was a guy that made the most three-pointers for the Miami Heat with 4, paced them out and let Jimmy Butler come into the game and take it as it goes because he was struggling with his shot early on. While Bam Adebayo didn't have a stellar shooting performance, he made his impact in other ways. We know that he's a great defender. He made a lot of great plays at the rim, altering shots. He blocked the shot as well, but his playmaking and screen setting ability is highly underrated. He had 7 assists in this game, supplied a couple of key assists to Duncan Robinson, who made some fantastic cuts to the rim. And taking advantage with the space created by these strong screens set by Bam Adebayo, Miami shot 14 out of 18 from deep, and this was really the difference in the game. When Boston doesn't shoot well from 3, they've lost pretty much every game, and this was an example of that. To talk about Jaylen Brown in particular, he's going to be up for a contract extension in this offseason, the Supermax, because he made the All-NBA team. I'm not sure if I'm going to give him those max dollars. He's been habitually a streaky shooter, so we know that he'll be hovering around that 35% range from deep, so just good enough to say, like, yeah, you can take 3 to 5 threes, but usually you like him to slash more to the rim because he's better in that mid-range game and finishing at the rim. Not the best free throw shooter either, so that's something he has to work on in his game, but I like him as a defender, that's for sure. My thing is shot selection. He's been a guy that's held his team back just by shooting them out of games. In Game 7, he made 1 3 out of 9 attempts. In the series, he shot 16%. He's not a consistent enough shooter to be taking that many threes. I wouldn't be surprised if the Celtics look to break up this duo, and we'll see if they build around Jason Tatum and try to find a second star or co-star to help Jason Tatum and the Celtics out moving forward.